Right, so it is Six Nations time, and as we said, we planned on doing a Rugby Through the Leagues fantasy rugby special. We started with the usual suspects, apart from Adam, who's unable to join us. He's currently driving round Farnham area delivering. We're not 100% sure what he's delivering, but we'll leave that up to your imagination. Obviously, we've got Buster, Ken. For those that are obviously from an avid pod point of view, we've got Polly. Once again, he's joined us, and Tim from Gosport. Last week, obviously for the Guernsey Grassroots Rugby Days, finally made an appearance, and now finally making it on the pod. So, gents, thanks for joining us, and hopefully we can have a bit of a banter about our picks. Some of you are probably more confident than others. Ken?
I just want to let you know, like I said in the message in the group, I said I find it harder to pick a Six Nations team than I find it harder to pick the Gosport team than I do a Six Nations team. It's just like, just roll the dice, see what happens, and away you go.
Well, how many were the Wales players would actually get in the Gosport Ones team at the minute?
Just a hooker.
Third choice.
Is that down to age or down to try scorers?
I'll take that. It's fine, mate.
I need another try scorer. That's all it is. So,
brilliant. I think probably best that we go through the game rules for those that aren't aware, and obviously we want to open this up to the followers. We've created a league, so we want you guys involved to try and add the fun and hopefully just see Kent further and further down the league, because he's pretty good at fantasy football, to be fair. So we want to try and ruin all of his hopes and dreams at fantasy rugby. So right, I'm going to share.
Saying with Tim, who's two-time champion from my last one we ever did a fantasy football, and I managed to beat him once.
Tim finished bottom of our fantasy rugby last time.
I had a stinker in the autumn internationals, but they mean nothing in the grand scheme of things, do they? Autumn internationals.
On that note, Tim, I think we should make it clear the forfeit for the loser, because I'm not sure you've done anything yet, have you?
I'm still waiting. I thought we were going to.
No, I still owe 2 anyway.
Surely we should have our night out over in Spain as the forfeit, wasn't it? Wasn't it going to be Benidorm? I think
we'll do a Benidorm away day, shall we?
So we're saying our forfeit is a weekend away
with Carl. You've got to spend the weekend with Carl.
You've got to spend time with me in person.
You've got to sleep in the same bed
for any human.
Sleep in the same bed.
Tail with him, so your head's next to his feet.
A bit like Ozzy on my stag do, Buster. That was.
I'm out.
That's it. Just leaves the chat now.
Yeah. Whole exit.
Right. If I do some sharing, we can actually read it off the Six Nations fantasy page. So, we have got the game in a few words. Become the best rugby manager by building a dream team for each round of the Guinness Six Nations. Points based on players' actual performances during the matches. The winner is the participant who accumulates the most points at the end of the tournament. Step 1, Ken. Pick your team. Have a look at the players list available in the game. Pick 15 players of your choice. Your team must have 3 backs, 2 centres, 1 fly half, 1 scrum half, 3 back row, 2 second row, 2 props, and a hooker. And then you get to choose 1 substitute, which further down you get is basically a super sub. So there's additional points to pick into that. You can only select a maximum of 4 players for the same team. We've gone for 5 in our league due to how poor some of the teams are that are actually partaking in the Six Nations. I think it's unfair that you've got to limit people to 4.
You mean everyone else apart from? So you're basically picking from France, Ireland, and Scotland. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, pretty much, mate. Yeah, not far off. Depending on which games is obviously France against Ireland. You probably go elsewhere. France against Scotland, you'd probably go one or the other. You wouldn't go as mad, would you? But you've got to cover your bets. So, right, manage your budget. We've gone for 300 just because some of the points on there are obscene. Like some players are dirt cheap, some players are. I think I've gone 300. What was it? Was it 300 or 280 or something? We've made it slightly bigger than what they've said on here because it's just drastically stupid. Ben Earl at 20, and then you've got other players at like 12. I think Flamont for France is down at 12 stars or something. But yeah, let's just make it realistic. Use your bonus rolls. So if you pick a captain and you're starting 15, his total points are multiplied by 2. So that's helpful. Super sub, as long as they come off the bench, they are tripled. If they start, they're divided by 2. So you either bank on somebody getting brought on really early, or that's going to make a decent impact, probably from half time out, depending on the teams, etc. Or you bank a starter from the get go on your subs bench, and then hope they get a stupid amount of points and pick up some decent pointage by having them halved. This is how we're going to get points scored, though. So this seems to have changed drastically recently. So I think this is sort of gone back to the old school. Kent, Buster, and Tim probably remember. Obviously, when you actually used to get points for people scoring tries, there was a period in between where it didn't seem to matter anything, which was kind of weird over the last couple of seasons. So a back, it scores a try, you get 10 points, 15 points for a try scored by a forward. You get 4 points for a try assist, 2 points for a try conversion, 3 points for a penalty kick, 5 points for a drop goal, 2 points for defenders beaten, but that doesn't always seem to register on the actual stats. So that isn't always a guarantee. And now 1 point per 10 metres made. So that actually used to be 1 point for every metre made. So literally used to bank on Monty Ioane every time he caught the ball. And that was probably one of the easiest picks for the last few Six Nations. But they changed that. What was it, a season or two ago, Buster? Kind of went flip reverse the old rules.
I can't remember. I think it was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, so they're now based on 10 metres made. So even if you get 19 metres, it still only gives you 1 point. So they round it down rather than rounding up. A 50-22, though, is 7 points.
7
points. That's cool. 7 points for a 50-22. Offload in hand is 2 points. And an attacking scrum win is 1 point. But there's little asterisks next to it. So the offload in hand, player will receive 2 points if their supporting player is able to successfully catch the ball directly, excludes ball bounce, knock on, or forward pass. An attacking scrum win, when the team in possession wins their own scrum ball, the team's forwards on the field of play will each receive 1 point. Okay, so everyone in the scrum basically will get a point. This only includes the team using the ball from the base of the scrum. Right, okay. Offensive actions.
The front three, I think.
Yeah, it used to be a front row lockout, but yeah, it didn't. Now they've sort of awarding everyone, haven't they? So defensive actions. 1 point for every tackle. They haven't clarified whether it's made or whether it's an attempted tackle, but 5 points for a breakdown, steal, 7 points for a line-out steal, and then 1 point deducted for every penalty conceded. Captain multiplied by 2, super sub multiplied by 3, or divided by 2, depends if they start or come off the bench. 15 points for the official player of the match, -5 for a yellow card, -8 for a red card. So it's pretty easy, but I don't think we're going to get massive amount of points. Some of them were like running into the thousands a couple of seasons ago, and then slowly sort of dripped down to about 400 or 500. So I don't expect massively high scoring out of those point picks. Then ranking is basically, obviously, will accumulate your individual players' points scored to give you a team score. You'll then be ranked among all the participants. The participant with the highest score wins the round, and overall ranking will accumulate the total number of points scored since the start of the tournament. Step 6. Will you win the prizes at stake? That's obviously the overall one. If you guys jump into that, that is spot on. Play with your friends for even more fun. That's definitely a slogan for something else. Yeah, so that is pretty much the rules. Let's see if we can find the players. So fixtures, fixture list. First weekend, France against Wales in France. Scotland against Italy in Scotland. And then Ireland against England. Is it the Aviva still, or what are we allowed to call it?
I think it is the Aviva.
Yeah, here we go. Right. Current selections across all people. Dupont, number 1 pick for every team, supposedly. Ramos in second.
Jock.
Damien Penaud in third. Van der Fleer in fourth. Van der Merwe in fifth. Finn Russell in sixth. Bundiaki 7. Benel 8. Maratoji 9.
What a load of rubbish that is.
Can I just say, out of the top 9,
10.
out of the top 9, 8 of the players I've already picked.
See, this is the thing, Carl. When you give everyone such a big budget and say, you know, you can have 5 players from each team, there's no mixy block, there's no opportunity. The point is,
I don't know. We've done it before, and you've got to have the bollocks to throw a curveball in, Polly, because not everyone's going to have the game they think just because they've got the highest stars. So there's been few that have come out of nowhere on previous ones.
And also, for some unknown reason, I can't have more than 4 players from one nation in my team. So weird.
Are you in the right one though? Have you picked under the Rugby TTL one? Right, here we go. View full screen. Player performance. All right, here we go. We might be able to pick the nations. Come on. Why is it not? No, it's not. No, right.
I think that's stats, Carl. They haven't performed yet.
Well, we're getting an insight into Carl's team here.
No. Right, so I'm going to show what I've picked preliminarily. Obviously, final squads have not been announced, so most of these have got plenty of time to get injured throughout the week, knowing my luck. I've gone Ramos, Bielbarri, Hugh Jones, Bundiaki, Darcy Graham as my captain. I've gone Jordan at 10, Dupont at 9, Luca Canoni at 8, Benel, Josh van der Fleer, James McCarthy, Flamand, Porter, Malvaca, and Schumann. And then my super sub is Kelleher. So I have gone predominantly French, Irish, and Scottish mix. I've gone Jordan at 10 because I feel that they're going to probably give him more of a run out against Italy than Finn Russell. I think Finn's probably going to have a rest this one out, in my opinion. Obviously, can't really see past France for the Wales game, and obviously Ireland will probably put one on England, sadly, at the Aviva or whatever it is called now. And Darcy Graham is just a phenomenal try scorer, and I think he'll have a field day against Italy. So yeah, he's always done me pretty well as captain. So that's my shot in the dark for
basically
my team.
Carl picked Darcy Graham a few years ago when he scored a hat trick and gave him like a 200 and something point booster and put him top of the league, to which we couldn't catch him for the rest of the tournament. And now at any given opportunity, he puts him as captain.
100%. You've got to stick with the ones that help you out in there. That, and I think I had. He did me all right. He actually he turned it round for me in the last one. That's how I managed to beat Tim by about 4 points in the autumn internationals, thanks to my Darcy Graham pick. But I also had I think I won on the last day before Buster as well. Then we went into the last game, and I think I was bottom or something, and I managed to pick Monty Ioane, and I think it was also the weekend that Ellis Genge was suddenly basically playing fullback for England. So every time the ball come over the top, he was putting the runs on, and that was when it was a point a metre. So I managed to turn the tide on the last game as well. But the last few fantasy rugbies have not gone as well for me. So I'm hoping to turn the corner. Gents, has anyone got it on their bit they want to share it, or do they want to sort of talk it out and then we can chat shit about Adams as well? I've got that to share.
I'm happy to go.
Right, you should have the sharing function on your computer device, Holly, if you can manage that, or do you want to just?
I got it.
Oh, look at that!
There you go.
We've got somebody that knows how to share things on. Oh, he's got.
I don't know, maybe I work in the online delivery stuff. So I've got Damien Pinot in the back three. I think he's just been absolutely lethal. Him last weekend, and he was class as well. So just if you think about it, we're getting points for players beaten and everything else like that. I've got to put Van der Merwe in there. Just the amount of players that he beats, the amount of tackles he knocks off, and the yards he gains is absolutely class. I've gone for Blair Kinghorn actually as my captain as well. So he's just kind of like developed this new lease of life playing out in France, and is just showing himself to be an absolute class. He plays 10, he plays 15, he plays on the wing, and if you think about it, the amount of kicking that there'll be in the backfield, that's not a bad option for a 50-22 for some extra points as well.
Where do you think they put him, Polly? Where do you think they play him?
I don't know. This is the thing. Until this squad comes out, but I think they'll play him somewhere. I think they'll play him on the wing, or they might put him at 15. So he's got to start. He's one of the best players in Europe at the moment. So
agreed.
Ollie, just quickly, in 2019 and in 2023, Blair Kinghorn has scored a hat trick against Italy.
Stato. Oh.
I love you.
I just remember it. That was all because I picked him. I think it was last year.
You actually picked him. To be fair, so I think you had him.
Yeah. So he's just been class, and then I've gone for what I actually think could be the starting Lions centres for next summer. There can be arguments around that as well. Bundyaki and Hugh Jones. Hugh Jones has been classy, and he beats defenders. 9 is no miss. DuPont sits in there. He'll be class the whole tournament. And then 10's like my little sneaky one. I think Prendergast will probably... I think he's got a great opportunity to sort of prove himself and fill those boots. I'm hoping he starts the first game against England, maybe because I'm an England fan and we can get to him. But at the same time, I think he'll be trying to boss the game for Ireland as well. And then moving into the back row, pretty standard. Bennell's been class, carries, if he starts at 8 for England, he'll be one of the main ball carriers. So there's points to be had for there. Caelan Doris is brilliant. Probably will be depending on how the Six Nations goes in for the Lions tour. And Van der Fleer has just been class for the last 5 years anyway. So I've gone for 2 big line-out jumpers, obviously because of the amount of points they can get, although Mario Itoje will definitely give away points for penalties, given conceded. So Tyburn and Mario Itoje in the second row. And then Peter Schumann, who always carries hard for Scotland, okay, and the Scottish scrum will do really, really well, and so will that French scrum as well against Wales. So that's what I've looked for there. Obviously, I've told you about the captain, and then my little super sub will be
Cyril starts.
Van Portfleet off the
pole.
Yeah, I don't know. This is the thing. Until the squad comes out, he's been in my fantasy team every year, and he always does well.
Yeah, he's been a stalwart. He's been solid. I don't think he starts at the minute.
No, so I'll have a look on Friday when they announce the starting lineup, and I might have to remove him, but we'll see. I could start with Tuilopi, set Tuilopi in the centres just for shits and giggles, but I'm pretty sure he's not playing. Don't know why. And then Van Portfleet off the bench if he gets the nod. So we shall see what happens. But there you go. That's my team.
Fair play.
I tried to avoid those top picked players. Oh, that's right. I didn't.
Well, he's still gone curveball. You've obviously gone JVP, which I don't know. Do you think
still got time?
Do you think he gets
when they announce the squad? When they announce the starting lineups, they're going to have to redo it all anyway.
But now Mitchell's back for England, isn't he? I think Mitchell has to start for England because I think he just brings something completely different to the England team. He allows Marcus Smith to come from
Who's
well.
the best at box
Give a bit
kicking?
of pace to the whole squad.
Who's like, because you're going to play Ireland, and what they're going to do all game? England are going to put it up there, aren't we? So, yeah. I'm more concerned about your Itoje pick, Polly. I can tell you're a big second row yourself, an England fan.
In terms of point scoring, in terms of lineouts, he runs the English lineout. He chooses to throw the ball to himself nearly every single time. He's got a great record and comes into lineouts. And looking at the score, it's not about choosing the players that you think are, that you like. It's about, who's going to score points? I guarantee you there'll be 20 lineouts at the weekend, and Mario Itoje will take 6 of the England ones. Then Tyburn will probably get 10 of the Irish ones. Depends on whether McCarthy plays as well. So you kind of like where you're going to pick up points. It's not, Mario Itoje might randomly steal a penalty. Admittedly, he's really close to giving a penalty away as well. But is that going to change? He's captain for the Six Nations this year. He's been announced as a squad captain.
Touching on that captain bit, how much do you think that's going to affect the team? That change. I know a lot of us have sort of discussed that Jamie George probably wasn't the right pick. Is that change so close to a Six Nations going to have a positive or a negative effect?
I don't think it makes a massive difference. Maro's been in that team for a long time. He's a leader, and he's been a vice captain. I think the boys look up to him, and I think he's going to be a good, he's pick of a poor bunch, isn't it? In my opinion.
Well, I don't know. I mean, people say it's a pick of a poor bunch, but Owen Farrell was leading that team for so long, and Mario Itoje was pretty much the full pack leader. Like you said, he's nearly probably the first name down on the team sheet. Maybe it's an opportunity for him to step up at that international level. This is, I think this is a make or break year for him in terms of Lions, because people keep talking about, is he the best second row? Is he the best British second row that we've got in terms of British and Irish Lions? Probably not. I think the Irish pair work really well together. And then you've got to bring in, who's starting in a row for Scotland at the moment? You've got to think about how he's injured. Yeah, you've got to think how he fits into that, and as much as we all sit there and go, Six Nations is massive, is these guys aren't thinking that the Six Nations, yes, they want to win the Six Nations. Half of them have got that little glint in their eye, and they're like, how do I impress Andy Farrell ready for a summer tour down, with the Lions? Because it's the pinnacle of, if you watch all the documentaries, you watch all of the conversation pieces, that Lions tour is the pinnacle of those rugby players dreams. If you speak to the South African fans, you speak to the Australian fans, you speak to the Kiwi fans, they love it. They only get it every 12 years. Do you know what I mean? And, for that, it just sends a little bit more to the party this year. And I think the Six Nations that go into the Lions tours are always even more hotly contested. I think, you can see people start fighting for their places. They start thinking about, performing really, really well. So, and I genuinely think that the England players have got that opportunity. I think the Autumn Nations didn't necessarily prove that, England were still developing or still not where they needed to be. I think they, 2 kicks go either way and they get 3 out of 4, So no, I just don't think I think everyone's written them off. I think if you look at all of our predictions, nobody's put them higher than 4th. So, we're only expecting to beat, and the nation's only got us beating Wales and Italy, So I don't know. We'll see what happens. That Irish team is rebuilding, but that pack's immense.
And that speaks more for the development of the other countries than it is for England personally. Like France, the players they've got and the calibre they've got coming through, I think at the moment should be second to none within the Six Nations we've got. Ireland, running second best team in the world at the moment behind South Africans, have got a target on their back. The way Scotland are coming through recently with likes of Finn Russell actually now pulling the strings and making Scotland tick and making them look really good. It's just almost feels where naturally the English are going to sit. Not wanting to be that, being a stalwart England fan and wanting them to win everything. I just think it's the development of the other countries. And I think we've stalled a little bit, even though we've got great junior under 20s coming through. I think the last couple of years, I think we've demolished the under 26 nations. I think Grand Slams them all, but none of them have stepped up, and we seem to be picking the same, or Forfeit pick the same players constantly now. And I think we've stalled like we did after the 2003 World Cup, where Woodward basically picked the same core players for like 3 years, all retired. We had no one coming through.
No, we still got to the final of the World Cup in 2007 and probably should have won it if,
the ref and had a howler.
Let's be honest. So I don't know. I think, I agree with you, Ken. The under-20s are absolutely brilliant. I think Pollock at Northampton is just class, and I think
I don't know how he didn't get picked. I don't know how he wasn't in the setup.
But
going a development squad for 4 years first, didn't he, Carl?
Well, look how it's worked out for other players, mate. Disappeared for a period, don't they? There's a time as many other episodes on the pod, people do so. The step up between Prem and International is vast still, and there is a period of blooding in. And I think having the England A opportunity back is going to help us. It's just not going to help us now. That England A will be hopefully setting us up for the next Six Nations. I think this is still part of the rebuild that's not officially a rebuild, but is a rebuild. I think we had a new head of performance announced today that England have taken from Saracens. So there's something fundamentally wrong at England above that doesn't seem can't retain staff, can't retain coaches. Don't know what identity we've got as a country in the way we play. We've got an exceptional youth system, but no clear transition, and players on mass exodus to France, etc., because the salary cap doesn't fit the needs for the internationals, in my opinion.
But on that, then you think about it and you go, we've got no identity. We're not, Eddie Jones lost his job because England fans were bored of the way we were playing. If you go back to 2003, nobody cared how we played as long as we won. Mm. So at what point in the last 20 years at England is it about the style of rugby that is the most important rather than winning?
I disagree on that because we were like,
I don't know, when Woodward was
55% win rate for one of the wealthiest rugby unions in the world. So it wasn't just about how we were playing, being bored.
Well,
I think Eddie had lost his way.
We weren't doing the right thing, but the press were doing so much, and
correct.
If you go and watch the avid England, if you go and watch a proper England supporter, like Tim and I won't go and I can't watch the Six Nations at the rugby club. I have to listen to idiots talk about nothing and just gob off, and it's like, I know, and I'd rather watch it at home because I don't have to put up with somebody going, "Oh, why don't do this? Why don't do that?" I just think I couldn't give a shit what England looked like when they play rugby, especially in the Six Nations World Cup. Absolutely fine. Comes down to winning, and that's the toughest thing. And I think, do I think Steve Borthwick's the right person? I don't know. You can all argue that off, but one of the best coaches in the world is out of a job in the summer. So.
The thing is, though, we tried this blitz defence to create an identity, but we're not South African. We're not, as players, they're not fit enough. They don't fit that way of playing. They're not. There's ones that are committed to it, and there's ones that are not, and that's the difference between what we've got available. I think.
See, I think England are probably two positions away from having a world-class side, and that's a 12 and a 13.
We haven't had one since 2003.
England haven't had. If potentially, if you put Mike Tyndall and Will Greenwood in this side, do you know what I mean? And I think we would potentially look at a slightly different side. Forwards wise, we're pretty decent. Back row wise, we're pretty decent. 9 and 10, you've probably got one of the best 10s in the world. If you took him out of Harlequins and put him in Toulouse at the weekend, he'd be. Do you get me? Like if you put him on any other side, wingers and fullback, pretty decent coming through. But a 12 and 13,
on what you're saying, though, Tim,
as well.
We've got players playing in the Prem week in, week out, the likes of Oscar Beard and Yamu Quins, who are absolutely tearing it up, and they can't get sniffing.
Well, that's just...
They can't get
Beard's in the team. Beard's in the team, and so he's in the squad.
It's Slade.
Is he likely to be in the starting squad?
Yes, Slade's in the squad, yeah. No, Slade is in the squad. He'll start.
Sorry, Oscar Beard. Do you reckon he gets in a match day squad?
No, he probably won't be yet, mate.
Well, let's be honest.
Without injury.
I think before what's the Exeter winger's name?
Tembesu.
Yeah. Before he was a shoo-in. He's been absolutely immense. I mean, Caden Murley's been class. Sligo's been class. We've got an abundance of back three players. That are brilliant in the Premiership. But then you watch them against the top level players in Europe at weekend, and you just think, are they as good as those French teams? And or the Leinsters or the Glasgows.
Ollie Lawrence looked good at the weekend. Ollie Lawrence looked good.
Yeah, but guess what though, Tim? He's one of the slowest centres in the world. He got gassed by Satiti in the summer, but the Autumn Nations by a flanker.
Aki's not quick.
I know, but Ollie Lawrence is playing 13. That's the difference. They place Ollie Lawrence at 13 and they get gassed on the outside. And you're effectively relying on your fullback to come and make the tackle or the wingers to come in. And guess where we kept getting beat? Out wide. Why? Because you just get on the outside shoulder of Ollie Lawrence and you got 2-on-1. So, I don't know. I'm not saying he's not a bad player. I think he's class. But is he at the next level? He's Premiership rugby level quality. European Championship winner? Probably not. Possibly.
You've got players aging out, though, in those positions, like Slade.
Yeah.
He plays week in week. He's been playing 10 for Exeter. He's played fullback, and now he's playing in the centre.
I think there's that it's that obsession with the kicking option, and then obviously you've got Elliot Daly who's bound to get picked as well. There's this obsession that you need a centre that can also kick.
But I think Elliot Daly's probably one of the best 13s that we've got.
But that's the mark we're living off, Polly. That if that's what we've got to live off, that's what we've got in front of us.
But he's world class. Genuinely, Elliot Daly. When you watch him play, he's played everywhere for England. you know, and they keep insisting on putting him at 15, and they put him on the wing, and you know, when he plays at 13, and if you get him the opportunity to create space, he can create space. He's got a turn of pace. Defensively, he's really strong, you know, and he's a great playmaker. I don't know. That goes back to what you were talking about, Buster, is that an identity, and it's like the problem is because they haven't got a way of playing. Their identity is, well, we're going to lose. So I don't know.
How do you get it from the 12? How do you get it out from the 10 to the 12 to the 13 if we haven't got a 12? We haven't got that crash ball option. We haven't. You could have the best outside centre available, and if you can't get the ball to him, and we've sort of discussed this earlier, Buster, about who being unavailable for Scotland, and obviously Hugh Jones. Obviously, Tuilapu's he's only got 3 tries in a Scotland shirt. But there's a lot of work that you sort of say that he does off the ball, and is that going to create an impact for Hugh Jones, or is Hugh Jones going to now be able to? Is he going to drop into 12? Is he going to be able to open up his shot? Because again, Polly's obviously picked him, I've picked him. He's an exceptional centre. If we could have him in an England top, I think most problems will be fixed.
I think Scotland losing to Tuilapu is a massive, massive blow to them. I think he's critical in everything they do going forwards, and I think he does a lot of work defensively as well. But like you say, it's crash ball option, isn't it? And drawing in defenders. Does Hugh Jones move into that position? Does he offer the same threat as he does? I don't think so.
Van der Merwe slots in at 12.
I'm going to reveal my centre partnership that I've picked, and that's based off of the
He was also the captain as well. He was also the Scottish captain as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he got picked as captain, didn't he? I'm guessing that'll probably go to Finn Russell now, maybe. I'm not sure.
Good question. There's so many depends people out in it.
Carl's got Tom Jordan starting over Finn Russell, so.
Go on, Buster. What we got?
I was just going to talk about the centre partnership with Scotland losing Sione. I've actually gone for a full Italian centre partnership with Menoncello and Brex.
I do like Menoncello though.
I watched him.
Brex is a quality player as well. I really rate Brex.
Benetton last week against Bears,
phenomenal.
And they're both 80-minute players as well, which it makes a big difference in this point scoring thing. You know, they make meters, they carry hard, they beat defenders, great chances of scoring tries, and they're 80-minute players. They accumulate high points most of the time.
Is Thomas Alam back, or is it Garbisi going to be playing at 10, probably for Italy?
I can't remember.
I think Alan's retired now. Is he retired? Is he sort of
no, he's in the squad.
International rugby?
He was injured last year, wasn't he?
You know, you can call him by his actual given name, which is Thomas Allen, not Tommaso Alana. That's what I mean.
Tomato Allen.
It's Tommaso Allen, isn't it? Is his actual name?
It's Thomas. They just changed it to make him sound Italian.
Oh, he's Italian, so you got to give him this. Don't call lasagna fucking pasta, do you?
Gives it that.
But so it's Luigi Lilana, is it now, for Lewis Liner?
Mate, I would honestly have had him in my team at some point in the Six Nations if he wasn't injured for this tournament, because he has done exceptionally well being able to get called up for the Italian side, and what he's doing for them internationally, I think is spot on, and potentially another miss for England. I know we've got a plethora of options in the back three, but I think he added another option that we could have done with at the time that he ended up going to Italy.
I don't know. I think he was close to getting out of that Quins team. He you know, if he was good enough to play for England when he was scoring tries for Quins, he would have been in the squad.
He was called up to the squad a few times, but then obviously never made it through.
I don't think he's that good. I think in an Italy shirt he's class, but I just think I think there's better finishers out there. You know what I mean?
Like you said, back then when he was coming through, you had the die-hard England wingers, which was going to be sort of Watson and
that's
Matt
what
Mayland was around.
Yeah, Johnny May as well. It's those sort of lot.
Johnny May.
It's back then. It's where England's identity were. Let's pick the same 15 players as long as they're not injured, and see if they get the different results we had last year. And there are youngsters who were coming through, like Femi Boso, when he's come through now. Years ago, last year I went down to watch Bristol versus Exeter, and I was like, "Who's this lad on the wing?" He was literally finding space, wanting the ball, and unfortunately, he almost destroyed Bears on his own, making the runs he did. To find out that he was almost Welsh and then came play for England was a massive bonus, I thought, for us. So we kind of need that excitement. Those sort of
26,000 reasons he done that.
Shame he's injured as well.
No, not at all. Although he has just been given a centralised contract, hasn't he?
And probably his schooling was being resolved, so he didn't have to pay for his education as well. That probably helped. Wild rumours and accusations being thrown around on the pod, and Polly's left. He's had enough. He doesn't.
Yeah. Bye, Paul. Let's slag his selection off now, shall we?
I think there was some wild cards in there for Pole. To be fair, I think I've seen worse teams picked. Adam's done worse. Forgot to pick a team 1 week. That was a good one. And then how many players did he have that didn't start, Buster? I think it was about 5 or something that all got injured.
Yeah, he had a couple in the same week that didn't start. Stitched him up.
Had an absolute.
There's nothing worse.
I think one of them was his captain as well, wasn't it?
You pick a player as a captain and then they come on and get injured in like 3 minutes and then that's it. Yeah. Game over.
I've had that.
And then it's even worse if someone else in the group has the replacement as their super sub.
Yeah.
And then they get 77 minutes of game time and score a try.
Yeah, good times.
Do we try and share my screen to show you my team, lads?
Go on in, Ken. We'll see if Polly wants to rejoin at some point.
Here we go. Has that worked? Yeah, there we go. Straight away at the back.
Polly's returned as well.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Hey, welcome back, Paul. So I
Go on in, Kentos. What we got?
I am Donato this one. I went Thomas Ramos. I almost put that Caparoso in for Italy, but I went for Thomas because of his goal picking and obviously just those extra points. I reckon that France are going to do a number in the first game. Merv to Swerve and Penot. I think Penot last season was leading the stats. I think it was 11 tackle breaks and 11 tackle broken and 11 line breaks all at the same time.
Yeah, but he don't perform for France, does he? According to Carl.
Oh, no. Yes, that's what Carl thinks.
He done for the Six Nations.
And yeah,
doesn't.
But they're saying that Penot actually broke more tackles on him than he actually had made on him during the last Six Nations. So I think meters made and tackles, I think he kind of has to go in the team.
I reckon I could have got a double action against Leicester at the weekend, to be honest.
Yeah, but that does help a little bit of confidence leading into the Six Nations as well, I believe. Unlike anyone else so far this, I've gone for potentially the Lions centre pairing of Bundyaki and Hugh Jones. Obviously, Bundyaki is that wrecking ball, and obviously if Hugh Jones can get the ball on the outside again, he can do quite a bit of damage in open field and that lot. Okay. Dupont, obviously, like everyone's gone for. I don't think anyone's not going to pick Dupont at 9. But I have gone for Marcus Smith at 10. It was either between him or Jack Crowley. But with Ireland having the ability to rotate their 10s, I wasn't sure whether he'll start or he'll get the full 80. But with Marcus's ability to play 10, 15, I think that the utility of him might keep him on the pitch a little bit longer too. And his goal kick as well is a big bonus. Obviously got Ben Earl, who last season taught up, made meters for fun. Van der Flair and Doris. I think Doris potentially is in the line to be the Lions captain. I think that he's central to how Ireland play in the forwards, and I think he kind of has to be in the team for myself. Gone for a full England second row of Itoje and Martin. A bit worried now that obviously with penalties given away, Itoje could actually cost, but now made captain.
And George Martin loves a red card in an England shirt, doesn't he?
Yeah, but again, a bit of a battering ram. I reckon he'll be used as a front ball runner. And again, I think tackles broken, and meterage, he might actually do something a bit special. This is the one I'm a bit weird on. I went both French props. I reckon in the scrummage goes, such big lads. I think they are now going to get
Antonio had retired from international rugby.
No, he's still going.
The end of this season. I think last. I think it's his last.
They said that last year, didn't they?
Yeah, that's what all of us front row do. Just you've got to carry it on, haven't you? Like
one more season.
I retired effectively. Tim's got another 4 in him.
Yeah, you keep saying one more, but that one is 4 at least.
53, wasn't it?
I just bow to peer pressure. The guys
that's
go
his
one
try
more
score
year.
this season.
Yeah, I'm like, all right then. Yeah. The little brown envelopes Polly's sending my way, mate. I've got to keep going.
I don't know what's in those envelopes, but I'm not sending them, Tim. So
it's my pocket money from my dad.
He's after the honorary. He's after the honorary keys to the clubhouse, isn't he? For playing 84 seasons at Gosport.
Is he on for his life? Is he on for his life membership? I think what it is he's waiting to see if he's reached 100 caps since 2012 or whenever it was, and he'll retire when he's got to 100 caps for the club. Even though we know that he's probably played more games than that, but we haven't been counting, so it doesn't really matter.
We don't know whether he's turning up each week, which club he's turned to.
That's harsh.
Oh.
I wouldn't sit there and take that. That's wrong.
It's all right, mate. I didn't have to move country just to avoid playing.
Well, I started again here. That's the problem. I fucking decided to start running around in a warmer climate as well. I don't know why I fucking done that. Tom Willis, good shout.
Yeah, I've Sheehan at hooker and I've gone Willis to come off the bench. I think as an impact goes, you've seen him playing for recently. I think he's just literally been on fire at the moment. So yeah, I think he'll be quite a good little shout to come on.
I think he might start.
Super sub.
I'd quite like him to start, actually. Yeah,
I'd love to see him start.
I'd love to see him start.
Yeah, I'd love to see him start.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of us so far have got Cunningham Smith in there.
That's because he doesn't even start for Quins.
He did at the weekend.
No, he's a different.
How much of a different setup does England look with all the French boys that have gone out there? Jack Willis, Arundel, Owen, Ludlam's gone, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if all them boys were still in there.
I don't know. It depends on whether at what point do the RFU have a look at it and turn around and go, if we want to be competing, I know they want to try and make the Premiership competitive, but it is competitive.
For the salary cap it's got in place, it's competitive to that level. It's never going to compete with France unless they open that salary cap. Simple as that.
Yeah, go for. Courtney Laws have gone to what?
D2.
Div 2, isn't he? So's Johnny May. They've gone for a payout, and you listen to Johnny May talk, and it's like it's the best thing he's ever done in his life. Do you know what I mean? And I don't blame him going for the money. Why not? It's not. We talk about it at elite level, don't we? And we're talking about those guys who are probably earning what 250 grand a year. And that's great for 10 years, and if you're sensible with your money in terms of what you can do, but it's not. There's a footballer who's just literally just signed Haaland's deal for 9 years or whatever it is. He's
500 grand.
9.5 years and £500,000 a week, something stupid like that.
Plus bonuses, they reckon it's close to 800.
Imagine when all those case gets to come in, they end up getting relegated to like the conference or something, and he's there still going £500,000 a week.
Anyway, I don't want to talk about football, but I was using it as a comparison before we drift off to blame Man City for the world, But it's crazy, isn't it? Apart from the sponsorship deals that they can get and everything else like that, and there is no fix. I mean, there is nobody's going to come in and just go, do you know what? There's a 100, 200 million pound for the RFU. They're already in debt anyway, hence the reason why they sold the name for Twickenham. But why are they in debt?
Until the World Cup comes in, and they have to call it Twickenham again due to advertising rights.
So, what for the Women's World Cup?
Yeah, the Women's World Cup. They've got to call Twickenham again because
you then got the Qataris that floating around for the Nations series as well. They're looking at pumping a bit of dollar in. So whether that opens doors. Is the sevens the way to try and put everything back in the market? Who knows? But who we got left? Buster and Adams.
I'll speak through mine because mine's on the phone, so I haven't got it on the laptop. So you have to imagine there's a.
I can log into your account and share it if you want to.
I'm all right, thanks, mate. So you're going to have to imagine there's a screen in front of you, everyone.
Send him the log on.
Yeah.
Send him the log on.
So back three of Perno, Darcy Graham and Van der Merwe. Now, one thing we haven't spoken about those two little Scottish people is their competition for being the top try scorer in Scottish shirt. And I think between the two of them, they could have a bit of a ding-dong this Six Nations, with obviously the Lions on the way as well. But I think that's quite a big thing, being the top try scorer for your nation is quite a big thing. So I think because is it Darcy Graham's got it at the moment? Is he holding it by one try at the moment, or is it two tries? Buster, I'm looking at you.
No, Duan's got it back.
Yeah, so I think between
Duan got it back, did he?
I think between the two of them, they could be quite interesting. See how they get along and go from there. And
I wonder how that goes. on a two on one situation. Do you think they pass?
Well, Van der Merwe doesn't, does he?
If one support, no. Do you think they pass? There's a chance to win the Six Nations. That crazy option, and they've got that. Does he? He's
back now gone for a hat trick against England anyway.
Well, do you remember that season when it was per metre and he scored that worldie against England? And how many points did he get off that one? It was ridiculous, wasn't it?
Buster and Adam had him, I think.
Yeah, I think he beat about.
Yeah, it was like 90 metres and a hat trick of tries.
Yeah,
I don't know. He beat like 14 defenders.
75,000 in the crowd, didn't he? It was a joke.
Yeah.
So
he done the water boy a couple of times as well.
Yeah. So I think between those two, I think it's going to be an interesting sort of dynamic of those two competing to score tries this Six Nations. So I think generally each week you might see one of those two in, or both of them in everybody's sides, injury depending. Centre partnership, I've gone for the old man Bundyaki. I think potentially could be his swan song sort of Six Nations Lions tour. Maybe he's getting on a bit now, isn't he? And I think potentially this could be it. Maybe, who knows? And then I've got, is it Mafana in the centre, the French lad? I think maybe a Friday night bit of a Bosch.
Sure.
Friday night Bosch up. But again, that's all if he's actually starting. They seem to switch their centre pairings quite a lot, don't they? So I think he's there to make yards. Hugh Jones is class, isn't he? But I don't know, going for something a bit different there. Then I've got the two absolute wizards at 9 and 10. Anton Dupont, Friday Night Lights, Paris. What's he not going to do? I think he'll do everything under the book, yeah. And then Finn Russell, I'm going to go for Finn Russell because he'll probably skip of the side now, I reckon. I think he'll be captain of Scotland now.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think
he'll get it?
Do you think he starts on a game like that?
I think Scotland have got approached this year as could be one of our best chances to try and finish in the top two at least. And I think they've got to approach every game with.
What do you think of Russell at 12?
No chance.
giving him that freedom outside.
No, it's defensively.
No.
I think they start Finn Russell against Italy.
Do I think
they definitely start Finn Russell against Italy?
100%.
Yeah. It's your first game of the Six Nations.
Carl's got the other way, by the way.
You got first game of the Six Nations. You've got to go all in, surely, haven't you?
I think they've got enough about them to do Italy without Finn Russell.
Wow.
I don't.
Yeah.
I was hoping here.
I don't think they leave him on the bench.
This 10.
No, it definitely doesn't. Can you imagine Gregor Townsend going up to Finn and go, just thought I'd let you know, because we're going to win this game, you don't have to play. Finn Russell will be off for a player.
He's done it before, sent him off on the piss and then told him off on the piss.
Oh, they pulled that out.
Just
you
never know. I'll pick Tom Jordan, so we're dropping you to the bench.
Yeah. I've had a phone from Carl Dawson. Carl from Spain? Yeah, Carl from Spain. Yeah. I don't know. And also, I think with that new
Finn, you're not needed this week, mate.
Yeah.
Not needed.
And with that new 50-22 scoring, Finn Russell, he must bang over some 50-22s nearly every game, doesn't he? Like whenever I see him playing for Bath, he's good for a couple a game. So I think that's always a pretty strong option. Back row wise, now Van der Fleer, Ben Earl. Ben Earl's 20 points, though. That's a lot of money for Ben Earl, isn't it? Like, I know he makes the points, but that's a lot. And then I always get him. I always pick
if Willis starts.
Who, Ben Earl?
If Willis starts, if Willis starts, I'd pick Willis for that option. On the stars, Ben Earl will get you points, but I think Willis will have a blinder.
Ben Earl tends to be good for a try or two, doesn't he? Kind of out of the England pack, he pops up with a try or two and does make yards. Now,
he seems to be the only one that gets points.
Yeah, I don't know. Mario Toje, according to Polly, so Ben Earl doesn't go up in the line-out, does he, mate? So we can't pick him. Now, my last pick in the back row, I pick him every Six Nations.
My team as well.
Say that again, mate.
I've got Ben Earl in my team as well.
Yeah, I pick him every season. I think his class is Aldrit for France. I know he might not start. I have to look at it, but I think his work rate, his carrying, his defenders beaten, his tackling, his penalty count. I really rate him. I think he's a great player. Whether he gets picked or not, because he hasn't started much recently. I look at you, Buster. You seem to know everything about every side. So
I got him in my team as well, mate. I think he's class as well. So it'll either be him or Olivon.
Yeah, it's fair.
Olivon's out.
Well, there you go. It'll probably be.
He's what?
Olivon's not available. He's not in the squad.
I think Aldrich gets in then.
They got Cross and Aldrich.
I'm probably going to reshuffle when they announce the starting lineup because I know for a fact.
Oh yeah, we will
announce teams, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's quite they're going to go
for. Second row wise, I've gone Burn as well because they tend to pick him at 6 as well, doesn't he? So he gets around the park quite a lot. Good for a turnover. Line out options incredible. And then to me, I think he's the best second row in the Six Nations. Pretty new to it. Joe McCarthy. I think he got a couple of man of the matches last time round. I think he's good for a man of the match as well.
Yeah, he's
phenomenal, mate. I think he starts for the Lions as well. I think he's been pretty
impressive. The England versus Ireland game, I think that potentially is the battle for the starting second rows for the Lions, I reckon. I reckon it is going to be between those four with Atoje, Martin, and the two Irish.
You think Martin's in the conversation for the Lions?
Yeah.
I think he's been a test match animal, Martin.
His physicality is very, very good, isn't it? He's a big physical second row.
Yeah.
Borderline, isn't it? Look how many reds he's racked up, and do you really need that potential hand grenade on a Lions tour? On the piss, of course you fucking do, but not on the pitch when there's a chance of we could actually win this Lions tour.
But then you look at the second rows they're going to be lining up against.
I think it's really strange because realistically, you are right in terms of Lions tour. there's no Welsh second rows going in, and they're still reaping after. I'm surprised they haven't rolled out Alwyn Jones back out for another season, just for just because 159 caps wasn't enough. So,
funny enough, Polly, Ad's actually picked Wyn Jones. In Adam's side is actually Alan Wyn Jones.
I've heard he's captaining him.
Yeah, Wyn Jones and Martin Johnson are the second rows for this year's tournament.
Jason Robinson's going to tear it up this this Six Nations.
No, he's got him as his super. He's got him as his super sub, Tim.
And Keith Wood at hooker,
yeah. Good for some meters. Yeah, so I've gone for those two Irish lads in the second row. So
so unpopular opinion about the Alliance Tour. What do you reckon about Liam Williams getting an actual shout in at 15 for the Lions Tour? Now he's come back and playing. Just a lack of potential. I know who else is going to be 15. You don't reckon he'll even get a look in?
I think he plays for Wales. I don't think he goes to the Lions Tour.
Absolutely no chance.
Sorry. The Lions Tour now just doesn't count Wales.
Oh no, there will be one Welsh guy going, definitely. Well, maybe two actually. Both back rowers, aren't they?
There's no way he gets in over Blair Kinghorn and Hugo Keenan.
Yeah.
No. Or Freeman. You are right, though. I do like Tommy Raffel and I do like Jack Morgan.
Talking about Tommy Raffel, he's one of the most expensive back rowers on it. Is that purely because of tackle and turnover, do you reckon? Because
it was off the last tournament.
And he's just going to smash everyone. So.
Him and Morgan. I mean, Morgan will. Those two will go on the Lions Tour. Those two will definitely go on the Lions Tour. Morgan probably future Lions captain, maybe. I reckon potentially. Who knows?
He's keep himself
riddled with injury, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's riddled at the minute. If he can get through that patch, I think he is potentially a generational player of how good he can be.
Yeah, he's class.
Once he gets through this patch, when he gets through this patch, he's got to be on the first on the team sheet most times, to be honest.
Yeah,
but
he's
at the minute, once he can regain that form, he's that's it. He's well away.
Yeah. Front row wise, I've gone for Bailly, Schumann, and then hopefully a big point scoring hooker in. I've gone for Ashman from Scotland. If he's starting, see how it goes. I think he's.
Your team is so similar to mine, Tim.
See, Buster, we're there, mate, aren't we? We know. I think you could go for a French hooker. You could go for an Irish hooker. I've gone for an Irish hooker on the bench in my super sub with Kelleher, but this could all change. But I just think Ashman's good for a try or two in a game, and he turns over the ball a lot. I think he makes some decent yards. I think his work rate's pretty good. So I think he could do well in that first game, I reckon. And then
who's your captain?
I've gone for, at the moment, at present, going back to the old Darcy Graham Van der Merwe competition, I've gone for Van der Merwe as my captain at the moment. I think he could make some yards and he's going to score some tries. So there you go.
Super sub?
Super sub was Kelleher. Yeah, Kelleher, depending on how the
fuck off. I've got the same as that at all.
To be fair, this probably will all change when the sides come out and, Finn Russell doesn't start and we'll have to say sorry to Carl.
Yeah.
I've already put a call in, boys.
And then France are resting Dupont on a Friday night in Paris in the first game as well. So we'll have to change our side then.
Don't really need to play France. He doesn't really need to play Wales, does he? So he could have a rest. You never know.
He's probably worried that Rafael's going to be lining them up every time. So that's what he's got to watch out for. So yeah, there you go. So don't even go to Buster. He's picked the same side as me.
Go on then, Buster. What we got? Is it carbon copy?
Hang on at the back. Full back. I got Louis Bielbiari on the wing. Picked him over Penaud because Penaud's crap for France, isn't he?
Too right. You know it.
So I've also captained Bielbiari because of the amount of meters he makes and how prolific he has scored in tries. As mentioned earlier, I've gone Italian in the centres. with Menoncello and Brex, and then I've got Ramos on the other wing due to the amount of points he scores from kicking. I think if it's a high point scoring game, he'll get all the conversions.
He'll keep the ball ticking over as well with pens, doesn't he?
I've actually gone for a French duo with Dupont and Ntamak as well.
I was about to say we haven't spoke about Ntamak at the minute.
Having said that, I think I'm going to change Kelleher to Jalabert because I can see if France are cruising at half time, I think they start protecting some players. Week 1 at home, I think they start bringing off some big names.
Do you think Ntamak starts over Jalabert, or do you think Jalabert already starts?
He's favoured, isn't he? I think Ntamak's favoured.
Has Ntamak
been out for a while?
He's been injured, hasn't he?
He's been back from. He's been out for a while. He's not really been in and around the team. That's why they've had Ramos as the first choice picker.
It'll come down to team selection. It might change depending on who's starting, obviously. I've gone in the back row.
I think Ntamak and Dupont have actually started together since 2023 or something like that, due to injuries and stuff for France. So, so actually for the nation, they've not been a pairing for quite a while now. So it might be a bit. They might look at that.
If it's Jalibert in there, I'm having him instead anyway. I think he's mustard.
He just won't get many kicking points for you because it'll be Ramos.
No, I know, but both of them score a lot of tries as well, especially in free-flowing rugby. I've gone Gregory Aldry at 8, Kayla Miel-Doris in the back row as well. I agree with what you were saying. I think he's probably going to be Lions captain. I also think he's an 80-minute player. I don't think he comes off early, so good point scoring. And then this is my one wild card. I've gone for Ross Vincent, the Italian, the Exeter chief. I've been obviously seeing him playing in the Prem, and I think he's mustard. Young lad, he's proper keen and gets everywhere, carries hard, makes a lot of meters. So.
Ross Vincent.
Sorry,
Ross Vincent plays at Exeter Chiefs, but he's Italian.
He's had a lot of tackle practice.
Great little player.
So he's doing all right.
And being able to tackle on the back foot.
Yeah.
A couple of times I've seen him play, and I think he stood out. I've gone Mara Itoje, although, as discussed earlier, I just think as he's been picked at captain, I think he gets 80 minutes as well. I think potentially if England win, which he could be in for a shout of a man of a match 15-pointer. He steals a lot of line-outs, makes a lot of turnovers, and I'll just roll the dice on him a little bit. And I've gone Joe McCarthy as well, because I think he's mustard. That's if he starts. Front row, Xander Fagerson, Scottish, Ashman in the middle, and Andrew Porter. So very simple.
Sub Kelleher, a captain. Who was your captain?
Yeah, I did have Kelleher. I've got Kelleher as a super sub, but depending on how close that Ireland-England game is, I don't think they'll be desperate to take Sheehan off.
They usually make that change at around 55 minutes, don't they?
I think he comes off at half time. If they're in whatever position they're in.
I still think those two are the best hookers in the UK though, so I think they're definitely both better than Jamie George. But in terms of what they do, Jamie George brings you something different, but they get around the pitch.
I think this could be Jamie George's last Six Nations. Losing the captaincy. Howard Dickey's coming back pretty well. Theo Dan's unreal. I think Theo Dan's pretty special. Could it be, a coincidence that he's lost the captaincy?
So Jamie George never played 80 minutes, and having your captain, it's like Dylan Hartley. It's weird having your captain of the team never playing 80 minutes, always having to change it and having that. Then having a second voice speaking to ref, you're not building that rapport. You want someone who unless they're injured or having an absolute howler, they're going to play 80 minutes for you.
the thing is, though,
I think it's a bit different if you're cruising at sort of 60, 70 minutes, 20, 25 point gap, then it's not the end of the world. But in a sort of like couple of point nick it test match, I think it makes a massive difference.
I think that hooker position is naturally one of those positions that comes off. They sort of rotate pretty. When you obviously had Dylan Hartley as captain, you had Jamie George coming through, and everyone was screaming for Jamie George to be there. There's now people shouting for Theo Dan to be where Jamie George was. There's obviously and in 5, 6, 7 years' time, there's probably going to be another player coming through that's pushing Theo Dan out of the way. And Dan Sheenan, obviously, he's had a couple of injuries. Kelleher, if he was in any other team, would be starting over most hookers in the UK, to be honest. So, like, they've got a plethora of options, and there'll be another player that's coming through built in the same fashion. I think the hooker is just naturally that position that's going to be on rotation, and it's the same with the front row. You've got to have a very strong personality that can play that as a captain and play that well.
But I think that's the problem with the new laws in terms of 8 subs, and I think if I had my way, it would. If I had, I think the one thing, how do you change the game is you turn around and go, why are we naming 8 subs? Why are we not forcing people to play 80 minutes? We've developed a game where at half time you can bring on 7 different forwards, and basically, they're not 80 minutes fit. I go back to, think about when we were all playing, when we were a lot, coming through at 21, 22, 23 years old. There's this, just take you off and then bring you back on. That's not, we've got 8 interchanges now, and I can do that with my props because you've got to manage it at Gosport. But, there's other guys, it's like, well, no, it's still 80 minutes. And that's 70, 80 minutes. That's where we talk about, me and Tim talk about it. At the local rugby, if you're the fittest team in the last 20 minutes and you've got a chance, you're the team that wins. And international levels, those guys are fit, but it helps where you can actually just go off after 55 minutes and bring on somebody who's only game ready for 35 minutes. I think it's, and I'm not quite, and everyone goes, you just bomb, you just argue against that South African bomb squad. I go, it's not even about the bomb squad. It's just, you look at it, none of them could play, at international level, club level, they could probably all play 80 minutes. But at international level, if we turn around and went, right, okay, you got to play 80 minutes, front row's not changing. 80 minutes, all 3 of you got to stay on. There's only a few players that could do it, week in, week out. You could do it once every now and then, but them doing it week in, week out, I think you'd see them all drop 20, 30 kilos. Well, maybe 20, 30 pounds, sorry, because they just wouldn't be able to sustain it. 30, I need to drop 30 kilos, but I don't know. For me, and that's the big thing is like, props are only playing 55 minutes. Some are only playing half a game, and if you're clever, you can bring them off for an injury or a tactical, and then when the other player gets injured, you can bring them back on anyway. So, because the laws are designed around that. So, I don't know. I just don't think that. I think we should be encouraging props to play both sides. So one prop on the bench at international level who can play loose head and tight head. One prop, 1 second row, back row, 1 back. There you go.
I can't find the mute button, Polly. Polly, I can't find the mute. Sorry, mate. Couldn't hear you. Buster, did we get your captain? I'm not sure.
Yeah, Louis Bielri.
That's it.
Well, to be fair, mate, it's a well-known fact that any winger that wears a scrum cap gets double points. He wears a scrum cap, he gets more points.
He does. And the thing is, how quick is he? He's frightening.
Well, he's keeping Gabin Villiers out of the squad at the moment, which is some feat, isn't it?
He is Cheslin Colby from team, though, isn't he? He is that Colby from team.
I don't know. He's
he is.
How quick?
On.
Do you think Colby's after? Do you think he's before the batteries are starting to run out?
Colby,
he's quicker than Cole. No, I think Bielri's quicker than Colby.
Yeah, probably. I think he wins that in a foot race and all.
Fair.
Yeah, none of them are racing against a cheater, though, are they? Do you know what I mean? None of them have reached Brian O'Banner, idleness.
Styly. Right, I have got Adam's team. I can try and share. So
5 Welsh, 5 Italians, and 5 Englishmen.
He's trying to pick the New Zealand team, but right. So he's also gone Ramos. He's got Pernod, captain, Aki, Jones, Bielbury, Jordan. So he's also had a call in with Townsend for Finn not to get picked. Dupont. And then what else have we got? We've got. He only managed to send it in 2 different stages because that's his Adam.
Jack Morgan.
He's gone for Jack Morgan. Cool.
Yeah.
He has got. What has he got? He has got.
That picture with Jack Morgan in that bottom left, wasn't it?
He has got Jack Morgan, Josh van der Fleer, Benno, Tyburn, James Ryan, Schumann, Kelleher, and Genge. He did say he thought that Sheenan was going to only play 40 minutes when I spoke to him on the blower earlier. So he thought Kelleher. He said that will obviously potentially change on sides picked.
If he thinks Kelleher's going to play 40 minutes from a sub, surely it'd be better to put him as a super sub, wouldn't it? Should get double points.
Well, no, right. Well, so his super sub.
This is how Adam works.
Hold on. So his super sub is the French 9, which he's gone for Lusu at the minute, completely forgetting that Le Garrick existed. And he said, "Oh yeah, there was that other young lad who weren't too bad." He said, "I'll pick him if he's picked over because he thinks that Dupont comes off after 40 minutes to be protected."
Dupont plays nearly 80 minutes every game.
Yeah,
he's a sevens player now, Polly. He's a sevens player.
I forgot. Yeah, he's only got 14 minutes in him, hasn't he?
That's it. Yeah, he can't cover the space
anymore.
He's struggled at sevens, didn't he? So
the other day,
he struggled at sevens. So so that's how Adam's mind works, anyway, gents. So this tournament could get quite exciting.
Basically, what he does is he waits until he finds out who ain't playing, then puts them in.
He's done that on a numerous occasions. He's actually started tournaments. He forgot to pick his team once, or he saved it in the wrong group as well. So he started the tournament without a team. So that was quite a good week.
You can't throw stones in glass houses, mate. You've done that in the autumn.
Yeah. Still beat me though, Carl.
No, I did actually, but still proved it. Adam had just completely fucking did.
To be fair, in my defence, and that's how the autumn internationals was a tough one. I think Buster set the limit, the money limit to like 50, and then
But we weren't allowed any players from outside the Six
Nations was saying earlier, it makes it challenging. You have to actually think about.
Actually, have to think.
And when I set that up, I wasn't aware that you could only pick from the Six Nations teams.
Yeah,
I thought you were going to be able to pick from all of the teams, but they limited it. So obviously, you could only pick the Six Nations teams who were playing against the
Southern Hemisphere
other lot
and stuff.
What also Buster didn't tell us that he'd been stuttering it for the last 3 months and put a little spreadsheet out of points scored, minutes played, every single player in the world. But right, I'll screw these lot over there. Yeah, you have 50 points, and I've already got the team picked out for the next 3 years.
So our day's standing on that gate at Nelson, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I do watch a lot of rugby, but I don't make any stat sheets, I can tell you that.
He downloads them.
Yeah, he's got his IT geek to do it all for him.
He's paid his Opta subscription so that he can get all the stats to his phone in the easy options.
You watch me fucking tank it and lose.
Not that you can watch any rugby, because unless you've got 16 different subscriptions, you go one weekend, there's nothing on TV because,
Champions Cup's been killing me because I refuse to play for that Premier Sports.
That's probably the cheapest one though, Bust, and you actually get the most for it. It's probably the cheapest one around, and you actually get more for it. You get the URC, you get everything. Champions Cup, Challenge Cup, and it's what, £19 a month or something. So that's probably the most beneficial one for a rugby fan, but still, it's robbery. Lads, obviously we've done our teams. We're going to change them. We'll share the scheduled group with the followers to allow them to get involved. As we sort of discussed at the start, we always do a forfeit. Obviously, I still owe 2. Tim owes 1. Buster had to dress up. Not Buster. Adam had to dress up as a Just Oil protester at the last time he went to Twickenham, which the police then forced him to take it off, and he had to put a Wales top on that looked like his 4-year-old or his 5-year-old had. It was an extra spray on schmedium.
I had a
what was the one he done before?
From him whilst we were in the stand.
Oh, he was ringing me, shitting himself. Yeah.
I had 4 missed calls
get the beers and basically
back. He was like, "Come down here quickly! Come down here quickly!" He'd been stopped by an inspector from the Met who had already started doing like PNC checks on him, checking his address and making sure he wasn't known. He thought he was going to storm
it was the call though, wasn't it? It was like, bring the Wales shirt. He was that desperate and shitting himself. He actually rung and asked to bring the Wales shirt. So yeah, we had to go and recite. What was the other time before? What he done that one? Was that the first one that we cashed in on him? Because he's lost a couple before as well. Was it?
I can't remember.
So what is the forfeit then?
I don't know, boys. What we thinking? Because I don't think all of us have got a spare 2-3 grand just to spend a day in Twickenham like we normally do, because obviously the prices are going through the roof.
Beyond the joke.
It's obscene, isn't it? I've got first dibs on tickets. I get that. I've got that England 15 membership that costs like £50 a year, and I get first dibs on tickets. And I got a message about the New Zealand game, and for a junior ticket it was £198, and you basically got it was that high up. You got to sit next to a cloud. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? So yeah, well, we obviously probably want to go to a game to do it, or you guys want to come out to Spain, or what's
It'll be a game, because it's got to be a dress up to a game, and that includes, we've got to make it clear, anyone entering the league from, obviously we're going to put it out there, aren't we? Make it open. They come to a game with us, dress up of our choice.
Whoever finishes bottom, even if they're public followers, they get to come to the game, and we get to dress them up.
We'll do a little bio on them. They can talk about themselves, tell us about their rugby careers, etc., whilst they're dressed up as a ballerina.
We're going ballerina, are we?
Oh, I'm really excited for this already. He's actually going to tank it on purpose now.
He's already got the outfit.
No, actually,
for me, good legs.
Me personally, that means I've actually got to pay attention to it week in, week out now. I just hope there's a whole load of people who join the lead, or can we sabotage Adam or someone else? I don't think it's.
What are we saying for the winner then, Carl?
I don't know. What are we thinking? I'm thinking obviously
loser gets dressed up, winner doesn't buy a beer.
So what again? So if we've got a public follower, we take the public, the Joe Public out for a day out, do we?
It doesn't have to include everybody else in it. It doesn't have to include everyone else. It could just be between the 6 of us. I think that.
I think if we take, I think the loser though. I think we're going to take
league and the option. It's one in, all in. Because otherwise it's the 6 of us, some random, some person that we might not know, we're just taking to Twickenham or taking somewhere for the day, and then we just
It's a standard day at rugby, Polly. I don't know what you're on about, mate. It's normal.
And who said it has to be an international game? Gosport got some games after the Six Nations. Everyone's welcome to the club.
Corporate at Gosport.
We could have a woman winner as well. We could probably drink most of us under the table as well, to be fair. So, especially Adam. I wonder if he's going to bring his bag for life.
I didn't see you in the nightclub in Guernsey last week.
No, I wasn't, mate. No, I was drinking on the flight at 7 o'clock in the morning out there, though.
Didn't want to repeat the night of the week before, did you, Carl?
2 or 3 weeks before at the rugby Christmas do was not pretty when I woke up in the doorway after I smashed my head open. That was probably why I decided not to end up in the nightclub in Guernsey. And with the amount of people that have previously gone to the Channel Islands and been arrested for drunken and disorderly, I thought probably didn't fancy adding that to my charge sheet at least.
Probably wait to talk about that.
Was it last time we played? Gosport played over in the island, wasn't it? Is it Matt Flower? Wasn't he end up having an accident on the pier?
That was where was that?
It was Guernsey. We played over there.
No, it was the Isle of Wight, wasn't it? Someone on the Isle of Wight? No, make me.
Yeah, I'm sure it was Sandown.
Was it Sandown?
A friend of the pod, Shane, in the summer was at the Sevens tournament, wasn't he? And decided to shallow dive into a pool and fucking broke his neck, pretty much.
Which is actually quite an achievement for him in the shallow end, mate. He's only about 4 foot tall, isn't he, Polly?
He's not the tallest.
Yeah, if you look at the photos from the weekend, there's some under nines there. He only just is a little bit taller than some of the under nines from the club.
Getting called up.
So, I think the under nines move more freely than him as well. See what I mean? So, but that's fine. Yeah.
So Ballerina to finish last, and then we've got to pick a location of where we're going to do it at some point. Probably have to be the summer. I think I'll be back in the UK at some point in the summer.
April the 5th, Portsmouth Rugby Club.
Still in Spain, mate, unfortunately. I'm back over Easter for a period, so if there's a game over the Easter period.
How hard is it to get tickets to the Prem final?
You can still get them now.
Not hard. Yeah, there's
Maybe
loads
that's
available.
an option.
But when's that? May?
It's later than that. I think it's June.
Is it June now, is it?
I don't know.
Let's have a look. Prem final.
They still run it as a double header. Playoffs.
Ooh, good question. Oh, fuck me. I don't know actually. You got a World Cup final, Kent. I know you told us about it.
We could do a women's World Cup final.
Well, that would be good.
There's still tickets available for the Prem final. Saturday the 14th of June.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
4 days before my birthday.
Well, that could potentially be a date that we can get in the diary. I'd have to do some pre-planning around that. But look at that. That's a proper ticket price there. 15 quid.
Yeah, you know that's a junior one, though. It's prices from. Let's have a look at L7.
I could get away with a junior.
I did versus England cricket with Carl.
Yeah, I've got a junior season ticket there.
Yeah.
What's corporate? What's the cost in corporate, Polly?
My computer doesn't work that way, I'm afraid.
Is that a tax rebate there, Carl?
You what?
So we had a tax rebate on that one.
Yeah, put it down as a business expense.
We got options.
So they're 110 quid for the seats right down low for an adult seat. So for a premium seat, I'm just going back to it now. So so there, those 6 seats there'd be 110 quid a pop. So, but there you go.
What's the £15? Is that the kids?
Yeah, that'd be a kid's seat. Yeah,
110 quid. We may as well see how much corporate is, Polly, haven't we?
It's a question to ask someone else. Right, I've got to go anyway.
Right. No, it's been a pleasure, gents. It's been good fun. Hopefully we can get a few random rugby avid lunatics to join us as well. Make it for shits and gigs, and obviously if they want to get involved in the forfeit, then they are more than welcome. And then they come spend the day with us, degenerates dressed as a ballerina.
Cheers, Carl.
Cheers, gents.
Cheers,
ciao.
Cheers,
boys.